Thanks for coming. This is part 3 of our 3-part series using video in social media marketing. Today's webinar is brought to you by the Women's Business Center. We're a nonprofit business center serving entrepreneurs in SLO, Kern, and Monterey counties. This webinar is sponsored by the SBA, Wells Fargo Bank, Pacific Premier Bank, and the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development. Their generosity allows us to offer this webinar and our free mentoring services for free. So I'm going to play a little video for you. Hi, it's nice to see your faces. All right, this is who we are and it's what we do.
As an entrepreneur, I can tell you, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't because of the Women Business Center.
We're getting all of these wonderful services, whether they're classes, courses, virtual workshops, one-on-one consulting and mentoring for free. It's invaluable.
The consultants at the Women's Business Center are just amazing people, very caring people too, I've noticed. They all seem to be really empathetic and really kind, and they're really professional, like they're actually doing these things in their own lives and they're making a living at it.
The Women's Business Center was really important for us when we were trying to make a decision on whether to relocate to the Central Coast. Coming to a small area like this, we didn't know if we would have professional resources or connections available. So we utilized the services of the Women's Business Center to help us learn about the community.
If I have any questions, if I have doubts, opening a business is not easy, but if you have the right support and the right consultant who's gonna be there with you, then there is no fear because they are there for you.
Who has that, like, how lucky am I to have that opportunity to have so much help given to me and so many people that want me to succeed, and they're all really nice to me too. I love that place.
Okay, I love that video. And Melody is the one who made that video. That's just a lovely video, Melody. Thank you. So let's hear a little bit about Melody for the few people who weren't at the last one. Melody Klemin is presenting today. She's a Martha Beck trained life coach and creative consultant who strives to empower women to trust themselves and men. There's a few men here, build thriving businesses and cultivate lives they love. With a background in education and nonprofit marketing and development at Cal Poly and the Performing Arts Center, San Luis Obispo, she brings a wide range of expertise in digital media, including website development, social media, email marketing, blog writing, photography, videography, and podcast production. Today's part 3, as I mentioned, you're in for a treat. Today, we are hoping that you leave with a video that you love. So without further ado, I will hand you over to Melody.
All right. Hi, everyone. Wow. For those of you who have stuck with me this whole time and you have come to part 1 and 2, and now you're here for part 3, thank you. Like that's amazing. It's so great to see familiar faces. And for those of you who are new, I'm so delighted to have you with us today. And I'm just going to jump right in. Today, we are at part 3. We're talking about filming with intention and sharing with heart. So we're going to get into this. This is the last part of the 3-part series. We've been talking about how to produce video for social media marketing specifically. And so we're going to get into today just kind of the actual filming process. And then the syndication process, like, sharing your video once you've created it. So the goal of this whole series has been really to help you all feel comfortable producing video for your own business and to really just kind of start incorporating video into your social media strategy. So I really hope by the end of today you feel clear and confident in at least starting to experiment with that. And today, this is the breakdown. So we're talking about filming with intention and then sharing our video with heart. And really that's kind of broken down into 3 kind of sections of the day. So we're going to talk about having an eye for creativity and an ear for authenticity when you're actually filming, and how important, you know, your mindset is before, like right as you're pressing record, how important your mindset is right before, and then when you press record, and then review the footage that you take, just kind of keeping some things in mind, top of mind, as you're actually filming. And then we're going to talk a little bit about platforms, you know, social media platforms, and how and where you share your video matters. It's, you know, it's based on a lot of things, and we'll get into that. And then, you know, we'll do a couple of breakout rooms again today, where hopefully you all can gather and really start to identify a filming plan and a syndication plan for a video to use in your business. So that's kind of the goal of today. So to understand the principles of thoughtful filming and thoughtful syndication, and then walk out of here today with a custom filming and syndication plan for a video for your business. So if I like had to sum up, you know, video production, and at least what I try to bring and kind of keep top of mind whenever I go to produce a video, whether it's for myself or for a client, and just like how I show up in the world in general, I really believe this. So this is a quote by Maya Angelou. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And I mean, I just can't say enough about this quote, because I really believe this. I really believe this. You could like leave today and be like, gosh, what did Melody say about this? Or, you know, like, what did she do? But I really, really hope that today you walk away and you know that I am someone who you can approach and ask questions of about anything, because hopefully I'm helping make you all feel a little more comfortable and safe and like maybe hopefully excited just about doing video, about doing more video in your life. So like that's how I would encourage you all to approach the filming process, you know, like really in every single video that you set out to create, if you have that in mind, like, I don't need to get my script exactly right, or I don't need to make this look perfect. Just like, if you can bring the energy of like, I am approaching this to help people feel something. I just can't stress that enough. So, and that really, it breaks down to this concept of engagement. So why do we do video in the first place? Really, it's about engagement. We're really trying to engage customers, clients, humans in storytelling, and like helping them feel a part of something and helping them understand something. Or, you know, we broke down all the video story types in part 1, but really it's about engagement. And we know this is like a truth, right? Like engagement increases when the viewer feels connected. So we're really talking about, you know, filming with intention and sharing with heart. Our job when we produce these videos is really to help the viewer feel as connected as possible. And I don't know, like this could just be my opinion. I really believe it though. Connection stems from presence and authenticity. And we're going to kind of talk a little bit more about, you know, what exactly that means. Presence and authenticity. If you can achieve those two things in any video you set out to produce, you're winning. Like you are going to help people feel connected and engaged. Okay, here we go. Thoughtful filming. Let's dive right in. So we're talking about this mindset. Okay, so you're going to film, right? Like you're getting ready to press record. This is the mindset that you should be going in with, because it's going to help you produce a quality video. So this is the thoughtful filming mindset. Number 1, be present. So this includes a lot of things, right? So as someone who's producing a video, you know, there could just be a couple of things going on. If you're, if you're just taking a video of yourself or taking a video of someone else, and there's not that many distractions happening, or there could be a lot of things kind of happening at once. And so one of the keys is really when you're actually filming, just to be present, like be there, be present. Number 2 is to stay focused on executing your plan. But the balance side of that is to also remain open to improvising. So you have this blueprint, right? In part 2, hopefully you mapped out a blueprint, a storyboard for your video, like the sequence from start to finish. What's your video going to be about? Where is it? All the details lined out. You have that. You have it written down. So you are hopefully, you're coming up, you're being present, you're staying focused on your plan, just like executing this amazing plan that you created. And you're also kind of open to improvising in case the unexpected happens, or in case like something goes awry, or in case there's like an opportunity where you're like, oh my gosh, I just had this idea and I kind of want to try that and incorporate this also. So just kind of, those 3 things: be present, stay focused on executing the plan, and be open to improvising. Okay, so another thing about mindset. So kind of going back to the whole connection, engagement, and presence and authenticity thing. So there's you as the person who is kind of filming, kind of showing up in that present mindset. And then there's like what you are creating. So there's like two things that you are holding inside yourself as you go to create a video. One, there's you, like filming. You are the filmmaker. You are producing this video. And then there's like the film, the video, what you're producing. And so when I talk about clarity, beauty, and truth, I am talking about like when you're filming and you are really trying to execute your plan. These are the 3 things that I want you to look for as you are reviewing your takes, as you are filming, like clarity, beauty, in other words, like creativity, and truth, because humans are obsessed with these 3 things, and your message is going to come across so much better and be so much more engaging, connecting with people, if you incorporate these 3 elements into actually filming. So I'm going to kind of describe what I mean. So just first of all, clarity, right? So as you are getting ready to film, I think Brene Brown said, clear is kind. Clear is kind, right? So you as the filmer, you want to make sure is your production dialed in? We talked about pre-production last time in part 2. So, is my lighting dialed in? Is my sound dialed in? Is my composition great? All of the things that we talked about. Is your production dialed in? Are we ready to roll? So that's number 1. Like, okay, clear is kind. This is going to help me articulate the clearest message in terms of video if I know that my pre-production is kind of ready. Are we ready to roll? Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, so kind of thinking in terms of social media platforms. So like you have this video that you're producing, and then hopefully like you've kind of given some thought to where you might share it, and then so this is the point at which you're like, okay, am I going to film like horizontally or vertically? Which one am I going to do? So like if you're filming with your phone, you're either going to go horizontal or you're going to go vertical, and it's really based on the social platform that you choose, and we'll get into which one is best for which, but that's really important to know before you start filming. Like, are you going horizontal? Are you going vertical? Or you can also do both. You can totally do multiple takes of both if you like. So the thing that we are kind of worried about in this first checkbox of clarity. The question you want to ask yourself as you're filming, as you're reviewing your takes, okay, so as we film and we review our takes, are we communicating our message clearly? So, just checking for clarity. And that means clear sound, like clear audio, clear message, like content, clear visuals. Just dial in your clarity. Okay, second. So this is when we're talking about the beauty and creativity. So having an eye for creativity when you're actually filming. So the first thing, are you capturing the viewer's attention in that first 3 to 5 seconds? Super, super important. And that's really going to help engage someone right off the bat and not just, continue scrolling. Another thing you're kind of concerned about in this an eye for creativity is how are you keeping the viewer engaged and focused on what matters about your video? So really trying to think through in terms of like the creative elements that you're employing, what creative elements are helping the viewer to better understand my story or message. And, that could mean so many different things, right? That could mean, am I using a cool camera angle where I'm like telling a story about my dog, and instead of, like filming it way up here and the dog's really small in the frame, like getting down on the ground and like, this is my dog, Annie, she's so great, like whatever story you're telling. Thinking through those creative elements, your angles, your lighting, your music, all of the things, right? That are going to help the viewer better connect and feel present in that story. And then 2 more things for an eye for creativity. So this is like when you are present and you keep yourself open to improvising in case the unexpected happens. So that's like that creative mindset where you are, you're executing your plan, but like the sun rolled out behind the clouds. All right, what am I going to do now? I have this whole plan, but now the sun or the light is not as I expected. How am I going to kind of pivot and move my production to a place where I can still continue, but I can get good light. That's just an example. So, and this is as we're filming, as we're reviewing our takes, the question we're asking ourselves is, how are we engaging our viewer creatively? So like, does this have dimension? Does this have some creative depth in where people are going to feel engaged? It's not just a flat talking head. And then finally, so, we're talking about clarity, beauty, and truth. Those are the 3 things we're trying to communicate here as we are filming with intention. We're keeping this in our mind. An ear for authenticity. So this is all about just being genuine. Be genuine with your viewer. People know, people know when you are not being genuine, or when like something's coming across salesy, or like authenticity is really the key to true connection. And so whatever you do, whatever video you're producing, ground your delivery in some humanity. It doesn't need to feel super polished. In fact, sometimes that's kind of off-putting in certain situations. It like decreases trust a little bit. So it's okay like to just be authentic in whatever way that comes across in your video. So as you are filming and as you are reviewing your takes, and what I mean by takes is like take 1, take 2, like you might have a lot of takes, you might just need 1. When you're setting out to film something, usually, it takes a couple of takes to get a good one. But as you're filming and as you're reviewing those takes, the question we're asking ourselves is, are we communicating our message authentically, like from a place of being genuine with your viewer and being authentic in that message delivery? So that's kind of like the mindset when you're actually, you're going to film, and then also as you're reviewing your takes after you have filmed, like in real time while you're still there. Okay, So that's the first part, the mindset about actually filming, like thoughtful filming. The second is the technical piece. Okay, so this is really about when you press record. So there's kind of two scenarios here, and it really just depends on what kind of video you want to create. But there's what's called the continuous shot, and then there's the edited shot. And I have an example of both to show you today. So when you're thinking about filming, you're thinking about a continuous shot. And a continuous shot is like, it's like a single melody line played on a piano, right? It's one scene and one continuous shot. So it's like a selfie video, right? Like, hey, this is what I'm going to communicate, or it's just like a talking head in the same scene for one shot, or it's yeah. I mean, basically that's it. You are setting. It's like you're setting out to film like a very basic shot, and it's continuous. And you like hit record, you film, and then you're done. So that's the continuous shot versus the edited shot, which is, if the continuous shot is like a single melody line, being played on a piano, the edited shot is like the orchestra playing a symphony. So it's like multiple scenes, multiple shots, and maybe there's some B-roll in there. And B-roll is like, kind of action shot footage that you get, where typically there's like, it's just the image and there's voiceover continuing with the B-roll running. And so I'll show you what this looks like in a second, but it's edited. Like you are literally taking multiple shots, typically in multiple scenes. And so it's more complex, right? You take all of that footage and then you go and edit it. You like dump all of your footage into an editing software, and then you're just like composing your video in that way. So the two very different types of video, right? And so what, I at least wanted you all in this series to feel comfortable with a continuous shot. Like you got to start somewhere, right? And so the continuous shot is really, that's kind of what I wanted you all to be able to do, kind of with all of these things in mind that we've been talking about and discussing. And the edited shot is something that you can totally also do. It's just going to take a little bit more research and time to figure out how to utilize a video editing software. And I'm happy to help you all with that if you want. And we'll talk about software in a second. But okay, so this is kind of the continuous shot workflow. You're likely going to shoot several takes of one shot. So boom, 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 boom. You're like doing the same shot over and over and over and over again, right? You're doing as many takes as it takes. And then, okay, right then, in real time, you review the takes. So you kind of probably have a good idea about what takes are good and are better than others, or, if you like messed up or something, right? So you review your takes and then you choose the best take. Or if you didn't like any of the takes that you got, you keep shooting and reviewing until you do get a take that you like. And then at that point, really, you might be trimming the best take on your phone. You might like trim, and what I mean by trim is like, on your phone, you can actually, kind of trim the start and the end to make a clean start and an end. But more than that, there's no editing that happens. Like really, you just save your video and you upload it to your social media platform. So that's the continuous shot workflow. It's super straightforward. And yeah, versus the edited shot workflow is a little more complex. So, you have your blueprint that you're working with. You shoot several takes of each scene, and any B-roll footage maybe, you know, where you're having some B-roll, like detailed shots, or like, you know, you're panning this amazing outdoor scene, or, you know, whatever it is, whatever, you're zooming in on a product, right? So whatever it is, you might have some B-roll there. So you're shooting several takes of the scenes and the B-roll. And then you're actually reviewing your takes per scene. And the most efficient way, really, is to review the takes and make sure you got a great take before you move on to the next scene. It's just going to save you time, and you'll be in the flow of that scene, right? So then you choose the best take, or you keep shooting until you get it. And at that point, you know, you've done all of your takes. You know you've gotten good takes. So you can either at that point just upload the best takes from your phone, or you can just upload all the footage if you want, if you feel like there was some stuff, you know, worth maybe working with in the post-production process and editing. And you can you know, upload that to a mobile app. And I've got some examples of, you know, what that could look like. So like a mobile editing app, or a cloud-based platform, and or your computer, you know, so like if you upload to Dropbox or something from your phone, or you like plug it into your computer and you select the files you want and, you know, drop them all onto your computer. And then you take those and you upload them into a video editing software, and you edit the video. And then from there, from the video editing software, you save your video, and you export it and you upload it to whatever social media platform you want. So it's more complicated, but it's totally possible and doable. Just to kind of give some examples of my favorite video editing softwares that I've used. So Adobe Rush is definitely my favorite video editing software for an app, and I do have Adobe Creative Cloud, so it's included in that. It's just the mobile editor version of Adobe Premiere, basically, which is what I use to edit videos. And then another video editor that I haven't personally used, but I've heard is great also, is VN Video Editor. So those are two applications that you can download. There's free versions of both. I think Adobe Rush is like $10 a month or something if you want the full version. But VN Video Editor is free. And so if you're wanting to do video editing on your mobile device, on your phone, you can download those applications and do it that way. I would love to walk you through some editing, and you know, maybe that could be a future, you know, webinar or workshop. We could like do a deep dive into some of these applications if you're interested in that. And then there's, you know, computer software. So Adobe Premiere Pro is one. I think that's also $10 a month maybe through the Creative Cloud if you don't have the whole suite. DaVinci Resolve, it has an excellent free version and is used by lots and lots of filmmakers. And then, you know, there's iMovie if you have a Mac. That's included in your Mac software. So that's some video editing software. I do want to kind of show you some examples of a continuous shot versus an edited shot. And you know, as you're watching these and you're thinking about your own video, before we go into our breakout rooms, you know, I'm hoping it kind of gives you a sense of all of the things that we've been talking about. And before you kind of start to craft your own filming plan, right? Like, am I going to do the continuous shot? Am I going to do the edited shot? You know, I'm hoping this kind of helps. This helps you. So I'm going to stop this share, and we'll start with, let's see. Okay, we'll start with the continuous shot video. All right, so here's an example for you, a continuous shot. Oh, all right, here we go.
Hey, what's up, Women's Business Center clients? This is Melody from Klemin Creative, and I just wanted to share one facet of my business with you. I'm a singer-songwriter, so I play wineries, weddings, special events, private backyard shindigs, and would love to serenade you should you find yourself in need of any live music services. Here is a little taste. Can you hear me calling out your name? You know that I'm falling and I don't know what to say. You can check out more of my music at melodyklemin.com. Have an amazing day.
All right, so that's the continuous shot. And here,
Melody,
oh yeah.
we had trouble hearing that. It was really low. I had my sound turned up quite loud, and somebody else mentioned they couldn't hear it very well.
Oh shoot. Okay. Let me try it again.
Okay.
Let's see.
Hey, what's up, Women's Business Center clients? This is Melody from Klemin Creative, and I just wanted to share one facet of my business with you. I'm a singer-songwriter, so I play wineries, weddings, special events, private backyard shindigs, and would love to serenade you should you find yourself in need of any live music services. Here is a little taste. Can you hear me calling out your name? You know that I'm falling and I don't know what to say. You can check out more of my music at melodyklemin.com. Have an amazing day.
All right, so that was the continuous shot. Thank you. I'm so sorry about the audio not working as well, but hopefully you heard it that time. And here is the edited version. So same video, just the edited version this time.
Hey, what's up, Women's Business Center clients? This is Melody from Klemin Creative, and I just wanted to share one facet of my business with you. I'm a singer-songwriter, so I play wineries, weddings, special events, private backyard shindigs, and would love to serenade you should you find yourself in need of any live music services. Here is a little taste. Can you hear me calling out your name? You know that I'm falling and I don't know what to say. You can check out more of my music at melodyklemin.com. Have an amazing day.
All right. So yeah, like those were kind of similar, right? Like they were basically the same video. But the edited version, you know, had some B-roll of like me at a wedding a couple of weekends ago, and had, you know, the text kind of fly in, had my logo pop up at the beginning and then my website at the end. So, you know, it doesn't have to be anything kind of super complicated or anything, but I just wanted to like demonstrate both versions, so you could just see that there's different dimension and kind of different use cases in each one. So I would love for you now to go into breakout rooms, and so the things I would like you to identify in these breakout rooms is you know, thinking about your video all the way up until this point, especially if you've been with me this whole time, you know, thinking about your storyboard and your video concept, you know, which is gonna fit better for you. Are you gonna kind of go the continuous shot route, or are you gonna try maybe you know, an edited shot route? And you know, how will you really film with intention? You know, like how are you gonna make sure you keep yourself present and you have this eye for creativity and this ear for authenticity in your message? Yeah, so, and I can't wait to hear from a few people when we return. Maybe we'll do 10 minutes in the breakout room.
Okay, so I'm going to pause the recording so people don't have to watch this. And
Awesome. Okay, so I would love, and I'm sure this group would love to hear kind of some of what you talked about in terms of mapping out your actual filming plan of this video that you're going to create. So I would love to hear from any of you. If you want to just unmute yourself and share, we'd all love to hear.
I can start, I guess.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
One of the experiences that apparently I was talking over with Janet in my breakout room was the music issue. I've recorded, just really briefly, I've recorded live bands just for practice. And even posting them doing a cover of a popular song, I get a copyright notice, a copyright claim on YouTube. I've used free music, again, briefly, downloaded from online. It says free to use. And every time I use that as a background music, I get a copyright claim on YouTube. So that was my major concern. Trying to find some music that's original enough and not necessarily something claimable so that I can monetize my YouTube streams.
Yeah, that's a great question and an issue that a lot of people run into, especially sharing on YouTube. I know for myself, like when I have recorded covers in the past, just as a musician, right? Like as long as I state this is a cover from, then it's usually fine. I haven't gotten my music taken down or my covers taken down. But in terms of kind of video, music for video that you post on YouTube, I know that there are, free music sites out there. One is, well, this isn't free. I guess it's a subscription that I use for my videos. I use Artlist, so that's one resource that it's $100, I think, for a year subscription. So totally worth it, depending on how many videos you produce. But I know there's lots of other music sites out there, for that purpose. Yeah, but maybe we could chat offline about that, Joe. Yeah. Anyone else like to share kind of what they discussed, kind of talking through their filming plan?
I'll share. So we, our group, we saw like, okay, so Roderick felt with, just with what he wants to focus on, the continuous shot would be just too much in terms of monotony and not really tell the story. And so the edited shot would be more ideal just because there's a richness to the story that it has and how it can carry people through on that journey. Mm-hmm. And Journey was more focused on the clientele, like how their clients will use the shots that they will be making. And so going from edited to continuous, eventually. And then for us, we like both. I see how both would actually benefit because we could describe the services that we have using an edited shot, and then we could actually do 30-second showcases of, clients in treatment in a continuous shot and just post that.
Yeah, awesome. That's so great. Thank you, Dr. Oladoke.
Yes, ma'am.
That's awesome. Joni, I'm curious, will you talk a little bit about your, give a little bit more detail about what videos you're trying to produce? And you might need to unmute yourself. Awesome, thank you.
All right, sorry about that. Okay,
yeah, no worries.
So we are a Chamber of Commerce, and so the videos that I would like to take primarily would be of our members. So like interviews. I'm still sort of working it out because I don't want to be on camera. So I'll do the video and then let someone else interview them. But that's sort of what I'm thinking right now. It's just to showcase their business.
Awesome. Yeah. And so you were thinking a combination of maybe.
Oh yes, I'm sorry.
And edited shot.
Well, I definitely want to do the edited, but I think I need to start with continuous just to learn.
Sure. Yeah. Awesome. Did someone raise their hand? No. Awesome. Oh, Mary, yes. Unmute yourself and let's hear from you. Thanks, Joni.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, our group also talked about the preference between the single shot and the continuous feed. And mine was, last week I focused on this, or last time, on getting out in nature and showing mindful walking. So I really want the continuous shot, and I'm thinking how I'm gonna get low and get my own feet to walk through there, because I'm gonna be out there alone doing this. That's a tough call, but I appreciate Joe's talk about the background. If I could just hear the leaves crunching or the eucalyptus trees waving, and then just stream that in as background rather than this, too much, or even just the birds. So that's just kind of the picture starting to form from the different textures and the observation of what I want to create. But I was also in my group talking about, and Allison and Heather were in there, and Julie, we all kind of, the YouTube option and their editing was very helpful, because it gives you a lot of diversity for streaming in and then sharing on an email. And I thought that was a really good contribution that Allison made. Just put it in your email. Hey, I just did a video. Check this out.
Yeah.
So thank you.
That's awesome.
And Mary, don't forget about those old, we used them a decade ago. Everybody had one. It was those GoPro sticks. And if you have a GoPro stick or something like that, you could put your camera on it and shoot your, feet walking through the leaves.
I was going to mention that too, actually, like a selfie stick.
Yeah,
used
selfie. They call it
down,
selfie stick now. Yeah.
or planting the camera next to the phone next to a tree and walking past as well. Yeah, to diversify the shots.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you for that, Heather and Joe.
Yeah, sure.
Those are great. Great recommendations. Anyone else like to share about, what their plan is, or what plan they heard from their fellow group members? Continuous shot versus edited shot. What videos you're planning to create? Yeah, go ahead, Heather.
I have a question about after I've changed my idea just so I can use it sooner rather than later. And we have an event coming up, public event on October 20th. And I think it'd be possible to do a continuous short like you did, Melody. And I want to compliment you. That was a charming short video. Something similar to that, but with, some signage. Maybe it doesn't have to be edited in. I like your captions, and I would like to find out how to do that with the video editing, but I'm sure it's there. What I wanted to mention is, once we have the right take with the information, then I think the idea that, since I'm not a big social media user, the YouTube idea would be ideal. And then I can email whatever lists I have, e-blast, whatever, to say, we just made a little video and would you like to catch it? Or it's about this event coming. How do I take it? I have to upload it to YouTube?
Yeah, you upload it to YouTube, and then actually, and we'll get into this a little bit with the next piece on thoughtful syndication. But basically, you upload it to YouTube, and then we'll get into the mechanics of what happens next.
Okay.
But then also, just briefly, in order to encourage people to click on an email, like from an email you send out, if you can take a screenshot of the actual, YouTube video, it probably will help inspire people to engage with it a little better than just like a link with it.
Right. So a link, you'll want the link, but also a screenshot of, let's say, that adorable picture of you with your guitar, first frame. And
exactly.
And then you post that, and that you can post that in an email.
Yeah.
I mean, a screenshot. I haven't used screenshots much, but this is a good example of good use of one.
Yeah, totally. And then you just, you link up that image, that JPEG file or PNG or however you're.
Link up that image you're using.
Yeah,
link,
you just you
except
insert
different.
yeah you insert the image and then you
Insert.
like right click to make it linkable.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Heather. Yeah. Cool. Anyone else before we move on to syndication? All right, cool. Thank you so much for everything that you all shared. So now we are on to thoughtful syndication. So let's start just with social media platforms. So these are kind of the 6, I would say, main social media platforms for sharing video, especially as it comes to promoting your business. So YouTube, number 1, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok. And really, like, the social media platform that you choose, there should be kind of 2 factors that you're wanting to consider. The first is to choose an appropriate channel based on where your audience hangs out and like where they spend the most time engaging. So kind of going back to the platforms, if you are doing a how-to video or something, or this is how to tie a tie, right? Like, there are people who search YouTube, like, I don't know how to tie a tie. I should probably know how to do that. I'm gonna search YouTube, how to tie a tie. So like, it's for an audience that is trying to learn something. So that's like one example of why you might choose YouTube over, say, Twitter or something. People usually aren't searching Twitter maybe for that purpose, or I don't know. So it's really about choosing the appropriate channel based on your audience, and the content of your video. So like, generally speaking, if you're trying to attract a younger audience, TikTok and YouTube are great platforms. Instagram and Facebook and YouTube are all kind of they're less young maybe than TikTok users. And then LinkedIn is really a place where it's kind of a professional community. So if your video content or your audience is, or if you're wanting to reach kind of that sphere, that's where you might want to post your video. If you're wanting, there's like kind of a funny situation that happened, or you want a video to go viral, Twitter is really popular for kind of funky, funny videos, that are kind of strange or enticing or engaging, or in real time. So it really just depends on where your audience is and what the content of your video is, and what you're wanting to happen when someone watches your video. So like, if, say, you have this product demo, so you're doing a product demo video and you share it to YouTube, you might also want to, say you're selling really cool t-shirts or something, and you might want to do a video and put, do an Instagram ad, or just make an Instagram video for your product. So it just depends on, you choose the platform based on where your audience is and kind of what you're trying to accomplish. And then you make sure the video is formatted for that chosen channel. So kind of going back to that whole, am I going to shoot vertical or am I going to shoot horizontal? So typically you shoot vertical for platforms like YouTube, Facebook, although not always, but generally. And LinkedIn, that's horizontal. And then horizontal, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and then vertical is typically Instagram and TikTok. And then I think Twitter kind of does either. But those are kind of the things you want to consider as you're thinking about, okay, I just shot this video and I want to share it. Which platform do I want to share it on? It really just depends on where your audience is, where they spend time engaging, and then also, what you want your video to accomplish. So, but basically, with all of these platforms, thoughtful syndication on social media will include these elements pretty much every time. So it's really good to kind of have a plan going in, before you are uploading and clicking share, to kind of know going in how are you going to kind of describe your video, basically. So in anything you post to social media, typically you'll need to make sure your video has a title. So like, what do you want to name your video? And then you're going to probably also have a post that accompanies, like a message or text that accompanies the video. So this is about your post. What written message will accompany your video? And typically it's good if it's short or gets to the point, in the first few lines. But what's going to capture the attention of your audience, and what's going to encourage people to watch it? Or if it's shared, like what do you want people to kind of understand about the video before they watch it? So that's kind of, crafting your post around the video. And then, like, one of the greatest things about social media is tags and hashtags. So in terms of tagging your video, once you are uploading it, who are you going to tag? Like, is it a customer testimonial video where, maybe you want to tag a couple of the customers who gave you a testimonial? Is it, who you want to tag in your video? And then are you going to tag a location? Like, is that important to the context of the video or to share it? If you're like a San Luis Obispo based company and that's really kind of a part of your brand and important to you, like, are you going to tag a place in San Luis Obispo or, something where you took your video? And then hashtags are really about figuring out, like, what searchable hashtags do you want to include as a part of your post that you can use to relate to the content of your video. So, like, say you had a company and you sold sunscreen or something. So maybe your hashtags would be sunscreen, UV protection, I love the sun, whatever hashtags kind of go along with your product or your content, your video content. And then also hashtags that your audience searches typically. So, if like environmentalism is an important part of your business, climate change might be a hashtag, or save the whales, or, whatever it is. So that's a great way, and it's such an important tool in social media when you create a video to be thoughtful about how you want to share it. And I know there are actually excellent webinars that the Women's Business Center has done before, I think, that go into deeper detail about each social media in general. And so if you haven't attended those already, I encourage you to check that out. And then finally, kind of thinking about your video, and we talked a little bit about this in a previous session, but thinking about, like, how you get your video out there, right? Think about your ambassadors. So, like, who are you going to enlist to engage with your posts? Like, once you share your video, it's usually a great idea if you can rally up some people to kind of immediately like or share your video or comment on it, just so it gains some traction in the social media algorithms. So who are you going to enlist to engage with your post or your video, and or share it once it goes live? All of these questions are really important to kind of think about ahead of time before you even upload your video and share it. If you have all of this information ready to go, and you can think through, how this process of how you're going to share your video and to really have the best reach possible, be seen by the most people, it's going to really help you out. So really quickly, and then I want to kind of we'll go into breakout rooms shortly for the last segment, but a couple of techniques to kind of extend your video's reach once it's out there, once you've shared it on a social platform. And Heather kind of gave this example already about including the video in an email, or a link to the video in an email or an e-news. Are you going to host the video on your website somehow, like an embedded YouTube video? You can have it on your landing page of your website, or like maybe even write a blog post and insert the video into a blog post. Maybe you can insert it into your email or e-news, like if you have a promotional e-news that goes out, or you're doing like an update to your customers or something. If you made this great video, share it. Share it. If you're at a live event, I know, or maybe, I think the Women's Business Center is having kind of an event happening in November, and so I've heard maybe that they're planning to share this video, that kind of aired at Good Morning Slow, the one you just saw at the beginning of the presentation. That's another opportunity for them to kind of share that video that they invested in. So can you share it at an event that's happening? And then another kind of thing that we use at Cal Poly, where I work in university development, when we're sending out solicitations, or you get the Cal Poly magazine or something, we actually have in our print materials, we'll include a QR code that links to a video of a student that's saying like, "Oh my gosh, hi, thank you so much for reading the Cal Poly magazine. You can, if you want to give back to support any of the stories that you heard about, you can do that right here." So print is a great way and a pretty underutilized way, actually, of sharing video. And so it's pretty easy to just take your phone and hold up a QR code, and if it links to a video, it kind of it deepens that engagement, right? It's an opportunity to, if you're sending out a postcard or sending out a letter or something, it's kind of a great creative way to let your print and your digital talk to each other, and put like something that moves and with energy and humanity, kind of into your print advertising or material. And then, so like there's extending your reach, and then there's also kind of this concept of repurposing. So you created the video, it's out there, it's done, you want to increase its shelf life. And these are ways to do that. So if you take your video or your footage and you pull like little 15-second clips from the video, you can share those like as a Facebook story or as an Instagram story. You could kind of piece together multiple short clips to share on Instagram Reels. You could capture quotes, like if you did a testimonial or you had, someone in your business kind of talking in your video, you could capture a quote that they wrote and then like take a screenshot, like capture a still of some of the video footage that you shot, and you can share that, like a quote in the post and just a still image of the video, and share it on like a blog post or share it as a social media post. You could also extract some of the audio and like share it as a part of a podcast if you create part of a podcast, or there's just like tons of ways to repurpose video content. Tons of ways, and the sky's the limit. Don't be afraid to get creative about it. And then I want to mention, before we get into our breakout rooms, where hopefully you'll talk through a little bit about your own syndication plans for your video. It's always a great idea to kind of assess how things went and learn from them, right? Learn and innovate. So how are you going to measure your video's success? And we talked about this kind of at the beginning when we were, planning out, why are we even doing this video? What are we hoping will happen? What do we want our audience to do, once they've watched it? So just kind of coming back to this idea though, measuring your video success. What does success look like after you make this video and share it with the world? Like, what will make you feel like it's been successful? What are you measuring, right? Like, what was the purpose of the video? Are you trying to raise awareness about something? Are you trying to acquire some customers? Are you trying to actually increase sales? Are you selling a product? So be clear about what you're measuring and what success looks like to you, so that at the end of the process, you can kind of assess and be like, what did we do what we set out to do with this video? And there's tons of metrics that you can have access to in the various platforms, like, your video's play count or watch time, the like click-through and conversion rates, any lead generation that happens. So each platform, has their own analytics that you can really look at. But, just think about how you want to measure success of your video, even before you film and share it, so that you can learn and innovate and keep, being smarter and more successful with the videos that you set out to create. Okay, so
Melody, before we go to breakout rooms,
Yeah.
We had a question. How does one pick a frame that we want people to see before the video plays on the different platforms?
Will you say that one more time?
How does one pick a frame that we want people to see before the video plays on different platforms?
Oh yeah. So it depends on how you upload your video and how you're sharing it. So I know, if you upload to YouTube, they will give you the option of, when you're actually uploading it, to pick the frame that you want. You can like scrub through the whole video and see which frame. They'll give you 3 suggestions, right off the bat. Like, there are 3 best guesses, but you can actually scrub through it as you upload it and it's uploaded. And that like editing window comes up where you're going to write your title, your description, all the things. And I'm happy to kind of maybe go through that offline. If you want to contact me offline, I'm happy to kind of walk you through that if you want. But it's pretty straightforward. Otherwise, if you kind of create your video and you upload it, you can take a screenshot. You can pause your video at a certain location and then just screenshot where it is. Like if you wanted to share it in an email or something. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Cool. All right, breakout rooms, maybe let's do 7 minutes.
Can I mention or ask you, your word use, syndication, is that distribution in my old school language?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
This word syndication implies some sort of ownership and boundaries. I don't know.
Oh, syndication it's really, I guess it's in the video realm, like how you share video.
Distribution's good.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so in the breakout room, 7 minutes. That's good feedback. To hear that syndication was a confusing term for some people. So I will incorporate that into the next time I present this. Thank you.
Okay, so you want 7 minutes?
7 minutes, please, and talk about your syndication or distribution plans.
Okay, have fun, y'all.
All right. Really quickly, I'd love to hear from any of you who would love to share. And I totally looked up the word syndication, Heather, and you were so right. I've been using the wrong word the whole time. Thank you so much for your feedback and helping me become a smarter individual. So let's just like change that word to distribution. I like that a lot better. Okay, so tell me your distribution plan. I'd love to hear kind of what you're thinking. And yeah, I would love to hear from any of you. And I'm sure it will be helpful to others also to hear.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to bogart, but my one question is about having a platform. Dr. A told me that I need a platform to publish, which I thought of YouTube. But then if I do have a company website, I have to make sure that my company website will also allow me to post my video. Is there a way you can, is my website necessarily a publishing platform?
Sure, it absolutely can be, yes.
How do I confirm that?
Yeah, there are ways to embed a YouTube, like say you publish your video to YouTube. There are ways to embed that YouTube video into your website, and I'm happy to help you kind of with that offline, Heather, if you want to contact me.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Anyone like to share their distribution plan? Where are you going to share your video?
I'd be happy to share mine if you like.
Yeah, great show.
I've been I've been posting on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, not so much on Twitter. I have not stepped into TikTok at all, but Pinterest. And as far as I was mentioning to the others in my group, that's the one that's given me the most new eyeballs to my business site.
Awesome.
Surprisingly, I don't know how or why, but I just continue to post to all 4 of the main ones I just mentioned, and that's my experience. My YouTube channel seems to be all over the place, I guess. The metrics there are not great unless I'm posting something of interest to teenage boys, it seems. I mentioned I had shot the elephant seals near San Simeon, and one of them was stepping on all the others, and I used a creative headline, and that's drawn quite a few views.
There you go.
And recognizing that aspect.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Joe. It's awesome. I'll have to check out your video.
Oh, let me know first.
Anyone else like to share? Yeah, go ahead, Mary, and then we'll wrap up.
I just had a quick question. I am a Google guide, and I have like 26 million views. So is there any way that you would suggest that we integrate something like a Google guide status, or you're a common reviewer or something?
Gosh, that's an excellent question. Will you give me some time to think about that and get back to you? I so appreciate that question. Thank you, Mary. All right, well, we have like 3 minutes left. So in the interest of time, I just want to kind of wrap us up here. And there was a question about QR codes also, and it's very straightforward and easy to generate a QR code. You just you Google like QR code generator, and then free QR code generator, and there's a couple of different websites you can use. You just copy and paste your YouTube link, or whatever your video link is, into that QR code generator, and then it will create a QR code for you that you can then insert in any print materials. So hopefully that answers that question. Thank you so much for doing this series with me. This is my first ever kind of series with the Women's Business Center, and I've just been enjoying it so much, and I appreciate your attention and your enthusiasm and all of your sharing around, you know, video creation. I so hope this was helpful. I am going to put together kind of a suite of demo videos, and I will ask Barbara to send those out to you. You know, hopefully in the next couple of weeks I can get through them all, but I would love to kind of, you know, as maybe as a review, create those demo videos for you of all the different video story types so that you can really have a good understanding and idea of, yeah, like real live examples of what some of those are. Like, be adventurous and experiment and just have fun as you're creating these videos. The more you put yourself into it and just like have a learner's mindset and an adventurous mindset, the more fun it's going to be, and you know, the more present you will come across in filming and also, you know, being in your own videos if that's something you choose to do. So thank you so much. This has really been a pleasure. If you have any questions or you want to say like, hey, Melody, here's this video I created. What do you think? You know, want some feedback? Feel free to connect with me. That's my email. That's my phone number. I really appreciate each of you, and it's just been such a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Melody. This has been one of our better series. 3 of them we got with you. So thank you so much for saying yes. We do have a few, we have added some webinars for those of you who don't like to talk about money. Our webinars are about money because we all need to talk about it, but nobody wants to. So we've developed a series. End of the year, we thought it would be a good time. Excel with Excel. If you hate QuickBooks or you don't want to use a program, you can use Excel. The person teaching that is very good at teaching beginners, a lot like Melody, very basic, easy to understand. And thank you for bringing up the words, Heather, because your questions were relevant to everyone. And we're all struggling with the terminology. So thank you for doing that. I thought that was great. And then we have the good credit report recipe. That's all about your credit score, what it is and how it goes up and down and how to play the game. How money works. It's a 2-part series. And that's really about making sure that you have financial success in the long term. So for you and your business. Thank you all so much for coming. It's been great to see you again. Have a great day.
Thank you.